Alright, what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video once again. And this is a subject matter that I've been meaning to talk about. It makes some aspects of it makes me laugh, and some aspects of it makes me go and say WTF. But yet it's something I strongly believe in according to my own terms, and I think it should be properly defined. And the idea of being a sovereign citizen, it has become a very ugly word. If you would tell this person, whether they're black or white or anybody, what that means, it can be a very ugly or scary word, or in some cases, because I was watching this one police officer on YouTube that has a YouTube channel, and I stumbled upon it. And keep in mind, in the early days of YouTube, when there was all the goofy Christian extremist fanatics on YouTube, that area, and at the same time, the drama between them and the extremist, atheist bullshit around there. And I have heard the word sovereign citizen on YouTube back then. But I digress. But anyway, even though I digress, it stems from something that got shaped. A more recent thing, past maybe week or so, like I said, I've been meaning to make this video. I stumbled upon, because I watch all kind of shit. Oh, and you learn something new every day. And anyway, I'm going to make my case that this word sovereign citizen, it's gotten a bad rap because there are bad people out there. You got to watch the word you use. And I think it's highly important. Since I preached, I put on the YouTube wall where I'm saying 2-page, you want to call them rants or sarcastic FUs to people. And a little bit everybody. And this is shapes. I preach the right of personal sovereignty, and it's not totally against the police law. Matter of fact, this particular police officer has a channel. He talks about corrupt cops getting busted, some of them that were being pedophiles and everything else, and involved in drugs and all that. Some people probably don't like him. They probably think he's like a Barney Fife, or call him a Barney Fife or an Andy Griffith or something, like a Mayberry type cop. And he looks like a little bit, but I think he's a pretty nice guy. But a video I saw about, with him in it, talked about, I didn't know about this. There was a group of people called Moorish people. I think they were mostly Islamic or anything, but there were other races of white people adopting this. And yes, a lot of crackheads. This is why some of us personally have to declare our intentions and say out there, like me saying out there shit that I don't condone. And I don't want to use the word sovereign citizen. We should have a different name for it. And it's very important to talk about stuff that you don't condone. And anyway, these Moorish people are an example. They believe, yeah, and I made long rants on YouTube walls. I know some of you guys have seen them. I wanted to make fucking sure, because I'm not ranting. I want to irritate or trigger some people and go like this. But, yeah, okay, let me, without try and not laugh or whatever. And I don't want to go on about this. I'll elaborate on this in a second. That I did very crappy YouTube videos that I could have done better when I had a problem with cops stopping me. I won't go on and on with the story. I'll probably bring it up in another second here. But still, I never did subscribe to Black Lives Matter. Fuck them. Those white leftists who rooting for people who vandalize. But I digress. I'm not going to go on about that. But I got to stick that in there and make my case here about, there's people that believe in, that don't even believe in certain rules of law, like police law. I personally think that common sense, whether you're black or white. Don't be doing shit that would invite trouble. But these Moorish people, they think you can just get a car, unregistered, no license plate. Nobody knows how you got the car. For all you know, you would have stolen it. And you can just go and drink in public. It can be all rowdy in public. Don't do anything, but don't with no regard to anybody. But anyway, even though there were some of these Moorish people, I think they started out as Islamic or something. There were different groups, but anyway, it become adopted by these people who were using a version of it, and these crackheads with their crackhead behavior and junkies were like tailoring it and adopting a type of sovereign citizen like Moorish. So say, oh, I can just smoke crack anywhere I feel like it, and well, it's part of what California has become. The liberals in California have created. Oh, I can just. A lot of people want to see where do whatever the hell you want. Oh, fuck the police that way. And even though I had one incident with the police where in a town that I lived, cops didn't even, in my crappy videos, I said a lot of shit in there. My thing is, I think it was political enemies, different things like that will bring you trouble, even though it happens to you just once. It only happened to me just once. They're not out to get me. But I was like, well, fuck them and fuck them and fuck the people who sent them. And then there was a part of me that says, well, they wouldn't have done anything unless somebody antagonized it. Because in my particular story that I said on YouTube, that shit, people telling them some shit. And that's why they do it. Because in some of maybe your personal cases, if you had one incident with maybe a bad cop that comes to you and does a whole pat-down search on you, violating your whole constitutional rights while threatening violence to knock your ass out. It could be some asshole political enemy that knows a cop, but unlike the Black Lives Matter crowd who incited violence and rioting, I recognize something that happened to me just once as somebody who aggravated, because you know what I mean? But I'll tell you right now, even though I'm rambling here, no matter who you are, even if you're somebody who don't like me, don't listen to your friends. If one cop, maybe some cops are an asshole, you got to blame the ones who send them, and you got to watch what you do and what you say. You can get your ass kicked and they can give you felony charges on top of that. But realistically, you got to take into consideration, even if somebody watching this don't like me, okay, don't listen to your crazy friends. Especially, you got to take into consideration, okay, the cops never bothered you before. Somebody else was behind it. That was my personal, not to ramble on about myself. But anyway, my point is, this ain't just rambling. I'm trying to put something in there forth to you that, yeah, maybe I was targeted for walking around without a haircut and a cocky look on my face. And plus, somebody was mad that I was also involved in charitable and good things and making myself look good, making my haters look bad, make liars out of my haters. And somebody pulled out their ass like the very last thing they could do to you. You know what I mean? But to make my point is, yes, I don't believe in worldly authority either, but I believe in common sense and I believe in common courtesy toward whoever people I'm living next to. Even though I've got an upgraded neighborhood now because I openly, to get a new place when I needed one 4 years ago, I openly put myself out as somebody who is not a threat to the community and somebody who is not rooting for rioters, people that block traffic in places that had nothing to do with rioting. And this is all relevant to my idea of personal sovereignty, and it's not about the police here. I preached in my long rants about, okay, say you don't like the police and say, yes, they're corrupt ones. And I'll go to these people, okay, you don't like the police or whatever too, that some of them are capable of kicking your ass if you set them off or whatever, yep. In the brutality case, I understand that. Like I says, one time in my life that if I lived off in a town that I used to be, I could have got my ass kicked too, but you got to be smart. And there's ways of getting even later in a very lawful way by making yourself look better than the enemy who sent those police. But anyway, okay, these people, okay, they want you to join their F the police bullshit. Because, yeah, brutality and all that. But yet they want you to worship gangs of people who walk around with guns that'll commit brutality against you too if you don't do what they say. They believe in these law of the streets, which I lived in a neighborhood too. A lot of people were black, and I had friends both black and white, and part of a neighborhood predominantly black. You had friends that were black, and in my case, I also, flaunt the idea that because I believe in anybody's right to have their point of view put across without being shut down, okay? To advocate and share non-woke black YouTubers. And this, because I believe both black and white, people that look like me, and then good black people have the right to a personal sovereignty. And also, when you bring up that law of the streets thing in that neighborhood, how you choose your friends, both black and white, and things that you do, right? And you're going to have enemies of the other race that they're not going to like you no matter what. And I said, the far right, even though you lean right, now bring up YouTubers like Styx Hexenham or 666 because I'm a version of him, but my combination of Christianity and the occult is a little bit different than his, but I share his politics intentionally too, without requiring him whether to like me or not. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying not to laugh here because anyway, yeah, I have reason to make videos and try not to laugh because everybody else's version of sovereignty, the people that want sovereignty against the police want you to join their cults, okay? The law, you're subject to the law of the streets. And in my combination of beliefs in personal sovereignty and sovereign citizen, if you will, I don't believe in the authority of your thugs that'll do the same brutality than me because I don't follow your shit. Yeah, you don't like the police, but I had people in my old town that would do that, and they don't want you to make friends of another race because, they'll try to socially isolate you and even try to gang stalk you there too, and try to destroy ties with any friends so they can isolate you and do what they want to. Yet, as far as people of the streets, if you will, about choosing good friends and more based people, both black or white. Even though I don't believe in subjected to particular laws per se, you know what I mean? Don't do anything stupid. There is a common courtesy. Certain people, both black or white, that are people like certain street people too. You just pick the right ones, and there's certain ones you avoid, okay? And there's people that there's people that don't like the police, that think that, oh, you gotta obey their rules or you're gonna get, it's only wrong if the police do it, right? Even though they make their case against the police, but yet they're allowed to have their Mr. King of the Streets shoot you or have you beat up, subject to their laws, and they want to assert their dominance. If it's not a police car coming up to you, it can be, a combination of both black and white people. You get a bunch of white people, not about race. It could be a bunch of white people, maybe a couple black people in there, pull up to you in a car, not a police car, but playing some rap music, come in and assert your dominance and say, I heard you said this or that, and we're gonna. And again, they'll no different than the police. They'll come up in a group of people, or like maybe with some rap music in the car, cigarette in their mouth, some tattoos or whatever, and a bunch of white people pretending to be black. And then talking in parentheses, I got the cartoon in my head, even well, I digress here, but Family Guy, Rush Limbaugh. You ever see that episode of Family Guy? Brian the dog, there was like goes, oh no, it's a multiracial gang with white people in it. And they go, oh, let's go beat him up. But not because of his race, because that don't matter to us. And Rush Limbaugh comes to save the day, kung fu and them or whatever. And Brian says, okay, I'll read a couple pages of your book, I promise. But anyway, yeah, that humor in that. But anyway, yeah, you got other people that run things, and they don't like the police, but they don't want you to have your personal sovereignty either. Like I said about the far left and the far right. The far right will talk down to you all condescending. They don't care how conservative or right-leaning you are. Some of them just may not like you and think that you should get a haircut, or else we'll have the cops harass you and have you thrown in a cage, because you don't go and dress like a nerd and become like us. Well, in the meantime, you have right-leaning people. You worked in industrial jobs every day that ain't like that. They're just working people, and you don't regard them as far right. While the far left just puts right-leaning people all in one, throws them all in one category, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's a part of the far right don't give a damn about me, that probably have the police, excuse me there, my Bluetooth speaker automatically powered off there. But anyway, but then yeah, the far left, they don't like the police. They're any better? They have their enforcing class too, and maybe they'll come and try to assert their dominance, and maybe just like gay people will do with the police, stop you on the street on the he said, she said, they got their people that'll do that too, no different than the little gang of thugs that were the school bullies back in school. Some of them were black, mixture, some black, some white, some both black and white people in there. Grown-ass people will do shit on the streets. Oh, I heard this or that on a he said, she said. And just like the ones that'll call the cops on you and mass report you or whatever, it's on a he said, she said, and they know, the people who instigate it, they know the shit ain't true. It's designed to assert dominance. Where it's the people that will use weaponize cops, or weaponize the local badasses. They both operate the same fucking way. They know you didn't do or say this particular thing. It's designed to assert dominance. And they want to communicate to you your place, that what you better do, or threaten some kind of violence. And you walk around with any kind of cocky look on your face, or be friendly to anybody, both black and white, that deserves it. They don't want you making friends and choosing the right friends, both black or white, is a key to your personal sovereignty. And there's a part of personal sovereignty that your friends that are black have, especially if they're based and they follow maybe the non-woke black YouTubers. If you subscribe to non-woke black YouTubers, and I admit there's some things in a few of them that I'm going to disagree with too, this or that, but that's normal. You're choosing personal sovereignty, right? You're supporting free speech for both people black and white. And the people that are trying to get those black YouTubers deleted from channels, they don't believe in personal sovereignty. They don't believe in free speech. Oh, if you're black and you don't lean this way, yeah, we'll have you. Yeah, the far left, the ones that advocate the thugs that would do everything that I said if I don't follow their cult, and you're supposed to hate the police or whatever, but brutality for the local badass is okay. Those are the ones that'll tell you, oh, don't be racist, but here's a list of certain black people that you're allowed to not like, and we require you to not like or whatever too, and you're supposed to be subject to the laws of local badasses. But yet, like I said, there's a part of certain reasonable laws of the streets too, where you show common courtesy. Yes, and there is stupid shit you can do that will get your ass kicked. Absolutely. If there's certain shit that if you're stupid enough to do, you know what I mean? But there's a fine line. There's common courtesy, and there's a thing where people of either side, whether, like I said, the far right or that other person in a workplace or supervisor or whatever the hell, one side will weaponize police, and the police may not be bad. You know, it might be, yes, it might be somebody, asshole, who knows a cop and will get them to harass you. But a lot of times, it's somebody that'll keep mass reporting things to the cops, make the cops mad, until there is a point where they'll stop you on the streets and unconstitutionally or whatever the hell, and then you gotta not do the wrong things and just go with it, and then get even later over periods of time. Don't do anything that'll get you your ass kicked, thrown in jail, get a black mark felony on your record, which will destroy any idea of anybody taking you seriously or having any intellectual credibility whatsoever. People out there, your enemies, will hope that you do a wrong thing, so you destroy yourself. You know, you got to be smart. My stepdad always said, more bees with honey than with vinegar. Sometimes, yeah, if somebody of another race talks down to you, or anybody else of your kind, somebody that looks like me talks down to me, I can tell them to fuck off right there. Or if I smell something else brewing up going on, don't always use your instincts, and maybe don't take it straight in their teeth. Don't take it straight to their teeth. Build up some defenses. Your friends later, or, you know, I mean, don't reveal any, because there's a lot of shit. Instinctive behavior is a trap. You know what I mean? The extremists on both sides will do that. But anyway, this is a lot of rambling. But there's a lot of people, they don't want your free speech. They don't want you to have free speech, and they don't want you to have any personal sovereignty. And the far left that hates the police, whether, yeah, even though there's corrupt ones, like I said, they don't want your personal they don't want you to have any personal sovereignty either. Far right, okay, the ones that don't like you, I'll say it once again, yeah, you could have a haircut or else get thrown in a cage. And they don't want you just to agree with them anything, even though you're right-leaning. They don't give a shit. They want you to be a step below them. And they're condescending as hell, and some of them are even nice to you to a point, passive-aggressive, but they'd like to have you thrown in a cage. But the far left, again, they don't want, if you were to join them or even talk to them in conversation, some far leftists out of nowhere don't even know you, convert you to their shit. They want you to be a step below them, and in a way condescending. They want to speak to you like you're a step or two down below them. They don't want to be, even though they preach equality, they don't want you to be making an argument even about their shit at both at an equal level. No, they want you to be down. They want to bring you into their cult, and you be a step below them. It's like, yeah, it's like they don't want to be a sheep, but they're sheep. They're simping up the local badasses. They're simping up to the local badasses. Yeah, they act like yeah, they're not sheep, but yeah, and they're the ones that'll get the local badasses after you, as opposed to the ones that'll try to get the police after you for stupid shit. You know what I mean? And the left are the more narcissistic side too. That's my idea of personal sovereignty. Okay, if to end this, okay, yeah, okay, making my point. anybody out there watching this, whether you like me or not, yeah, you have one incident with police. Very seldom. You can read that as, yeah, the police never bothered you before. And you know something else or somebody or something else is behind it, right? Word of wisdom. And maybe, yeah, you don't feel, just like me, have to be subject to particular law. I don't believe in doing a bunch of crazy, stupid shit and then act like police are victimizing me or out to get me either. But, okay, yeah, anybody who subscribes to the anti-police thing or whatever, too, fine, but what in the fuck makes you think that I have to be subject to you and then the enforcing class of the local badasses that I'm supposed to be that's personal sovereignty to me. The far left doesn't want your personal sovereignty. It wants to be worshipped, as opposed to the police and the far right, the evil rich that they don't like. And, you know, some of us that, you know, lean right a little bit, yeah, we talk about people that I work next to, too, you know, that are not on the far left, lean more right, but they don't like certain kind of rich assholes either, you know. But, you know, that's a ramble for another story, you know what I mean? Some more realistic people, yeah, and I work next to more realistic people who lean left, that ain't leftist extremists, and they don't subscribe to a lot of the bullshit, you know what I mean, either, and they'll get accused of right-leaning because they're a more... I've seen them around too, you know what I mean, but anyway, to be a real, I would rather not use that word sovereign citizen, I'd change the word too, but I regard it as being smarter. Don't do dumbass shit along with your little friends just because it's sensationalized. It'll get you dang arrested, and yeah, and maybe your fucking little friends will rat your ass out, you know, to protect themselves and all that stuff too. Or you're a square or you're a nerd if you don't go out and steal, you don't go out and get involved in these drugs and these parties. That's a whole other thing too. Yeah, that's the crackhead behavior. There's a delusional version of sovereign citizen because, oh, F the police, I want to be able to do whatever drugs I want and go and just steal from anybody to get money from drugs. Fuck you, yeah, but... And that crowd expects maybe me or somebody else, yeah. All right, you don't like the police, but I'm supposed to be subject to the local badasses that you'll get after me. As opposed to the people that might call the police on me for stupid shit. Yeah, what's the difference between that and if I don't kiss your ass, that, yeah, you can get the local badasses after me, whether they're black or white, and maybe have me shot or beat up or whatever. Fuck you. I mean, there's a smarter way to be a form of a sovereign citizen while reasonably getting along with your neighbors and the neighborhoods that you're in. Like I said, and to end this too, one more thing too, just because I got an upgraded neighborhood because I put myself out as a non-threat to property, doesn't mean the old neighborhood that I lived in, even though there were a lot of assholes, yes, there were friends, crazy fools that I missed too. You know what I mean? And you have to be polite without... And in that old neighborhood, I had to be polite without taking things straight into my teeth because there was a lot of people, your enemies, that are shit starters. A lot of people were related there. Those shit starters were related to some of your friends, and you had to be more tactically... In that neighborhood, that's another story. Usually, your friends will be like, you know, yeah, there's this code. Your friends, if they get wind of it, they'll talk to them. There's this weird rule that you can lose your friends if you take it straight in their teeth or whatever. There's like some of these ones, because they're related, they'll stick up for the ones that they're related, right or wrong. Both black and white people, and people look like me, do that shit all the time. You know what I mean? I had to, you had to deal with that with people. I had to deal with shit like that other people that look like me. You know, you can say fuck you to somebody right to their face, or you can be a little more diplomatic. You know what I mean? Tell them to go fuck themselves in a nice way. You know what I mean? Take things into their teeth too soon or the wrong time because you could be set up so the other one could go off. That's how that is. It's a big fucking psychological game. You know, people on different kind of people out there will try to break you mentally or whatever the hell too. But the idea of being a sovereign citizen of any kind, if you identify as any kind of a form of if you identify as any form of a sovereign citizen, that does not mean you do shit to cut your own throat and fuck yourself over or commit a form of social suicide, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah, there is certain people out there that'll... I'm a rebellious sort myself, but I know right away not to do shit to fuck myself over, you know what I mean? Yeah, oh yeah, and they'll call you a bootlicker because you get along with the right people and you've upgraded to better neighborhoods, and everybody that's jealous or looking to see you fail too. You know, they're hoping real hard to see you fail or whatever too. You know what I mean? And to deal with this, another way about being a true sovereign citizen is doing things that out there in the open so that you can't be accused, and to make liars out of your haters and out of the shit starters. And they'll call you a bootlicker for that too, because, you know, in their world, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Some people will always have something to say, you know what I'm saying? But it's not about breaking anybody's laws per se, but it's whether it's the law of the rule of law, the police rule of law, and government, which, you know, it's not perfect either, corrupt as hell. Whether it's that rule of law, which some of it still in some places you'll be okay if you don't do stupid shit, or the law of the streets, depending on what city you're in. You also got to behave and do in the open the right things so that you can't be accused, because your haters and your shit starters or your covert haters come in many. They come far left, they come in far right, they come in black, they come in white, and neither side wants you to be to make friends, the right friends of anybody of any other color. And so claiming a true sense of sovereignty means you can differentiate those things in the smarter ways, not in those other ways other people are saying. I mean, it sounds like a ramble. There's just so much in it. I mean, I'm just trying to put forth examples. It's really a hard subject to talk about without rambling. You know what I mean? Because there's so many examples. I mean, if I take out the ramble, it's hard to do, because if you reduce the rambling, when you reduce the rambling or try to reduce the rambling, you got to kind of compartmentalize or categorize types of people and behavior for the good and the bad, because there's good and bad in everybody. Matter of fact, I had some long time ago, somebody made comments to try to say I have some kind of a bias because I'm comparing. No, I'm not comparing. I'm saying, no, that comparing is when you're saying someone's and race or one type of people is better than the other. No, I said, hey, there's good in black people and bad ones, and bad apples that look like me too. And if I say there's good, both good and bad in black people, Mexican or whatever, people like me. Oh, if I said there's any bad in any of them all, that's being biased too, right? Because you've got to be liberal and let everybody do what the fuck they want, do all the drugs they want to, and they'll speak of freedom because they hate the police law, but yet they want you to be subject to their law, or they can have somebody smoke your ass or kick your ass. I mean, any true sovereign citizen recognizes shit like that. And to end, and once again, like I promised, to end this, I think it's very important to put out there what you do not condone, okay? And you want to put out there, you don't condone anybody going up and shooting anybody for stupid shit. So that you don't get accused of being a some kind of terrorist or person that's criminally insane or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? I didn't cover that in this video. It also means just because that rainbow flag is all over the place and they want you to change your whole personal life to suit them. You live and let live, and you tolerate, say you do you, but also being a true sovereign citizen or sovereign person means you're not subject under their laws either, and you don't got to change your personal life to suit them. Their flag is not your law. You tolerate them, you tolerate their choices because it's their life. You're too busy living your personal life to give a shit about them. And it means it also means not condoning just because they have another affectional preference or they want to be a dude dressing like a chick. That doesn't mean you go around saying or threatening to shoot them. Which, even though their people go on TikTok and say that they want to threaten to shoot straight people. Oh, but that's okay, TikTok. You know, I've did whole videos on that too. So if you got this far in this video, it's about that shit too. I'll put that in. But I'll make that explanation in that link in description too. Or else I might even make a special video towards that lifestyle. But yes, it's directed towards that too. In days like this too, where they want to re-educate your kids, the Rainbow Mafia or the Alphabet Mafia, they don't want you to be a sovereign citizen either and claim any personal sovereignty. They don't want you to walk around with a cocky look on your face. No, they want you to change your life to suit them, and change your language, change everything about you to suit them. Tolerance is not enough. You're living your own life, doing your own thing. You're scum and you're phobic of some kind, and you should have some punishments or harassment or canceling done to you if you're living your own life, doing your own thing. You know. So once again, yeah, they too have a worldly law that they're trying to put in place, which I do not believe in. I believe in my own personal sovereignty and the personal sovereignty and common courtesy of others along with that. But like I said too, you got this far. It's a very hard subject to talk without rambling like some people will tell you you're doing. But because there's so many, I try and compartmentalize in certain aspects of people that you will give a shit to a point, but you don't have to give a shit. And like I said too, one of my favorite saying is when, where, and at any time when should a rat's ass be offered or even giving? When should a rat's ass be offered or given? Excuse me, in any situation. Sometimes, you know, you offer it up, you know what I mean? You offer up the rat's ass, pick up the rat, and offer up his ass. You're trying to play ball with these people and negotiate. That's my own sarcastic little thing that I say there. But anyway,